Also, and I know the answer to this too, they say you oppose legalizing weed.
That's not true.
I know.
and look, I joke about it, half joking. Half my family's from Jamaica. Are you kidding me?
They be so mad at you. Have you ever smoked?
I have.
Okay. Like in
And
college,
I inhale. I did inhale.
You did inhale. Okay.
It was a long time ago. But yes.
I know you have to go. They say you have to go. I just wanted to
I
ask.
just broke news.
I mean, was it in college?
Uh-huh.
See, I like stuff like that. That's a real honest
It's
answer.
real.
Was it a blunt or joint?
It was a joint.
Hey.
Yeah.
You remember the high?
I do.
So if it was legalized all throughout the country and medicinal, would you do it?
Listen,
again?
I think that it gives a lot of people joy, and we need more joy.
We need more joy in this world.
Well, let me tell you something, Trumpomaniacs. Welcome to the house that Hulkamania built. You know something? Usually when I'm in Madison Square Garden, I'm body slamming giants. I'm winning world heavyweight titles, and I'm cracking people over the heads with steel chairs. And the energy in Madison Square Garden is off the Richter scale. But today, Trumpomaniacs, the energy in here is something like I've never felt. The energy of all these Trumpomaniacs is the most powerful force in the universe. And today, this is Donald Trump's house, brother. You know something, Trumpmaniacs? I don't see no stinking Nazis in here. I don't see no stinking domestic terrorists in here. The only thing I see in here are a bunch of hard-working men and women that are real Americans, brother. You know, when I hear my president and our president, Donald Trump, speak, he sounds for real, brother. He sounds like he has a heart of gold that's all for the USA. But when I hear Kamala speak, it sounds like a script from Hollywood with a really, really bad actress. You know, Kamala is responsible for the border crisis. And Kamala is also responsible for inflation. And then you know something? She acts like she's the victim. And then all of a sudden, she flips, she flops, she spins and turns it around and acts like she's gonna be the damn hero. But we all know Trump is the only man that can fix this country today. And with Trump as our commander-in-chief, peace through strength will fix all the problems in the Middle East. You know, I've been coming to this building month after month after month, and I've seen sold-out crowds over and over again for over 40 years. And for 40 years, I've always asked the question, what you gonna do? Over and over and over again, what you gonna do? Well, today, after feeling the energy in this building, I finally got the answer. And the answer is, vote for Trump! So now, I got a couple questions for you. What you gonna do about the border invasion? What you gonna do about inflation? What you gonna do about keeping America safe, brother? And what you gonna do about putting God in our homes, in our country, and our schools? So I guess we're all on the same page. So I got one final question for you. What you gonna do, and who's gonna make America great again? God bless Donald Trump. He's our next president.
I am the chosen one.
We're going to knock the hell out of ISIS, believe me. Members of her team were caught saying the one person she doesn't want to run against is Trump. Believe me, it will be fun. The only time I really started on her was 2 months ago, and believe me, her and Bill had a bad evening. Believe me. Believe me. They can't even believe it.
He still didn't believe me, but believe me, it is, okay?
Believe me, folks. Believe me. Believe me. So let me just tell you. Let me just tell you. Believe me. 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 Hey, believe me. 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 And believe me. Believe me. Believe me. And believe me. 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 Believe me, they're going to recover much faster than they understand. Believe me, folks, we're building the wall. Believe me. Believe me, we're building the wall. But here's the thing. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. I love women, but believe me, I love women. I love women. And you know what else? I have great respect for women, believe me. Believe me. I have so much money, you wouldn't believe it. I'm good at getting people to put up money. Believe me, they'll put up money. So anyway, we're going to be back up here. If I win, believe me, we're going to start opening up the water. 4 more years of this stuff, and I'll tell you, we're not going to have a country left, believe me. Everything she touches. And you're going to have 4 more years of that, we won't have a country left, folks, believe me. And the only reason she's been dragged so far left, believe me, is she doesn't want to go to jail over the emails, okay? Believe me. That we're going to save our Social Security, and I'm the only one that's going to save it, believe me, without cuts. And if we win California, the election is over, folks. It's over. We win. And then we will make America great again, believe me. It's over. 200, believe me. And we're going to take care of the vets, believe me. National Rifle Association, folks, we're going to protect your Second Amendment, believe me. We will protect your Second Amendment. These pundits, if I ever did that, I'd be run out of town, believe me. Can you imagine? This can only happen to me, believe me. And they couldn't believe it. Nobody could believe it. And there was like love. Oh, look at my African American over here. Look at him. And believe me, I'm like a really smart guy. I went to the Wharton School of Finance. And you don't have to go to Wharton. You don't have to go to Wharton. You don't have to go to high school. Mexico will pay for the wall. It will happen, believe me. We're stopping. We're stopping. Believe me. They don't have the same love that we have, believe me. They are in a mess. They are in a total mess. It's a love fest. We have all night. All night. The safest place to be anytime in our country is at a Trump rally. It's love, believe me. It's love. It's love. Crooked Hillary, and she is as crooked as you get, believe me. She is a total lightweight, believe me. Where I'm statistically even with Crooked Hillary, and she is crooked, folks. Believe me, she is crooked. Crooked Hillary, ladies and gentlemen. She's as crooked as they come. As crooked as they come. And she really does have bad judgment. Oh, isn't that nice? All right, get him out of here. Get him out. Bring him home to mom. Go home to mommy. Go home to mommy. We're all in a rigged system, folks. I'm going to break up the rigged system, believe me. Believe me. If I'm governor, I have a choice, okay? Believe me. Believe me. And I'm the only one that can get bad press with raising that kind of money. The only one, believe me. Some don't like me very much, but that's okay. Believe me. I built an unbelievable company, a great company. I filed papers with federal election. You don't build companies like that unless you have the right temperament, believe me. Believe me. A lot of the protesters that you see, they're going to end up voting for Trump. Believe me. Who else does this without a band or without a musical instrument? Believe me. It's a lot easier with an instrument. I'm sitting home. I'm listening to lies being told about me by this dishonest media because, believe me, they are so dishonest. You know, so dishonest. Man.
Excuse me. I've watched you on television. You're a real beauty. Like this sleazy guy right over here from ABC. He's a sleaze in my book.
I think he's a racist. I am the least racist person that you've ever met, believe me. The least racist person. We have the better ideas. And my ideas are better than any of them, believe me. My ideas are better than any. Just let the bullets go in the other direction. Bomb, bomb, bomb. Believe me. Believe me. That's what politicians do. All talk, no action, believe me. I've studied this issue in great detail, I would say actually greater by far than anybody else. Believe me. Oh, believe me. I know how to deal with trouble, and believe me, that's why I'm going to be elected president, folks. Believe me, believe me, believe me. Believe me. Believe me. Believe me. Believe me. Believe me.
It like had nothing to do with what I was even talking about. They are the worst, believe me. A little tiny few words. Donald Trump thought they should be done. Believe me, folks. We know what we're doing, folks. Believe me. We know what we're doing.
Believe me. They take abuse. They don't get the credit they deserve, believe me.
It's all made up by the press, folks, believe me. By these people right here.
Believe me, I respect women more than Hillary respects women.
And you are going to have problems, the likes of which you've never seen, unless Donald Trump becomes your president. Believe me. Believe me. I will do more for African Americans than Barack Obama has ever done. And believe me, he's done nothing. He's done nothing. He's done nothing but talk. He's done nothing but talk. And believe me, folks, it has been a disaster for this country. I think I'm working harder in the last 8 months than I've ever worked before in my life. Believe me. And believe me, the one person she doesn't want to run, and I know this for a fact, the one person she does not want to run against is Donald Trump. But the one person. I'm a unifier. I know people are going to find that a little bit hard to believe, but believe me, I am a unifier. Once we get all of this finished, I'm going to go after one person. That's Hillary Clinton, on the assumption she's allowed to run, which is a big assumption. I don't know that she's going to be allowed to run. And I think that's frankly going to be an easy race. You see the polls. I beat Hillary in many polls.
You had to see him backstage. He was putting on makeup with a trowel. No, I don't want to say that. I will not say that he was trying to cover up his ears. I will not say that. No, he was just trying to cover up. He was just trying to cover up the sweat that pours. I never saw. Did you ever see a guy sweat like this? It's Rubio. That's what it. This is going to be easy pickings, and believe me, it will be. Believe me, I got very, very little, and I built it into many, many, many billions of dollars, and I'm very proud of it. They would have kept him otherwise. Unless Trump was president, believe me, they wouldn't be keeping him. That's not right. And believe me, if I become president, oh, do they have problems. They're going to have such problems.
Hard to believe. Although, if you were me, you'd believe it.
I won't pay the rent, so we get better lighting, and we don't pay the rent, right? Right? No, get those lights off. Off. Turn them off. They're too bright. Turn them off. Turn them off. Let's go. Ready? Turn off the lights. Turn off the lights. Turn off the lights. Turn them off. Two great guys. They work hard. They love. Boom. They love. Get those lights off.
is a reflection of our moment and our time, right? And present culture is the way we express how we're feeling about the moment. And we should always find times to express how we feel about the moment that is a reflection of joy, because, you know, it comes in the morning.
Hey guys, it's Billy. I am back on the street with the one and only Will Ferrell, and we are out here today to represent a very important voting demographic, loud white men for Kamala Harris. Sir, loud white men for Kamala, join the call.
Yeah!
Yeah! Who are you voting for?
Kamala!
Yeah! What's your name?
My name is Corey.
Corey! Corey for Kamala!
Let's talk about George Floyd. You said George Floyd's death was a terrible thing.
Terrible.
Why are African Americans still dying at the hands of law enforcement in this country?
And so are white people. So are white people. What a terrible question to ask. So are white people. More white people, by the way. More white people.
There's breaking involved. And when you break things, you get cut. And you may bleed. And it is worth it every time. We have to know that sometimes people will open the door for you and leave it open. Sometimes they won't. And then you need to kick that door down. Excuse my language.
Nobody can do it like me. Nobody. Nobody can do it like me. Honestly.
Nobody's stronger than me.
Nobody has better toys than I do. There's nobody bigger or better at the military than I am.
Nobody loves the Bible more than I do.
Nobody builds walls better than me.
Nobody's better to people with disabilities than me.
Nobody's fighting for the veterans like I'm fighting for the veterans.
There's nobody that's done so much for equality as I have.
There's nobody more pro-Israel than I am. There's nobody more conservative than me. There is nobody that respects women more than I do.
Nobody would be tougher on ISIS than Donald Trump.
Because nobody's ever had crowds like Trump has had.
There's nobody that understands the horror of nuclear better than me. And nobody even understands it but me. It's called devaluation. The sale of the uranium that nobody knows what it means. I know what it means.
Nobody knows more about trade than me.
Nobody knows the game better than I do.
Nobody in the history of this country has ever known so much about infrastructure as Donald Trump.
I know the H-1B. I know the H-2B. Nobody knows it better than me. Nobody knows politicians better than I do.
Nobody knows more about taxes than I do. Nobody knows more about debt than I do.
Nobody knows the system better than me.
For Jamaica, one of the issues that has been presented as an issue that is economic in the way of its impact has been the pandemic. So to that end, we are announcing today also that we will assist Jamaica in COVID recovery by assisting in terms of the recovery efforts in Jamaica that have been essential to, I believe, what is necessary to strengthen not only the issue of public health, but also the economy.
It'll be fine. You won't have to vote anymore, my beautiful Christians. I love you, Christians. I'm a Christian. I love you. Get out. You got to get out and vote. In 4 years, you don't have to vote again. We'll have it fixed so good you're not going to have to vote.
Many of the millennials, dreamers, undocumented citizens, and I call them citizens because they contribute to this country, are fearful of voting. So if I vote, will immigration know where I live? Will they come for my family and deport us?
Not true. And the reason is, first of all, when you vote, you are a citizen yourself, and there is not a situation where the voting rolls somehow are transferred over and people start investigating, et cetera. The sanctity of the vote is strictly confidential in terms of who you voted for. If you have a family member who maybe is undocumented, then you have an even greater reason to vote.
Here in Ohio, you can vote right now. You can vote right now. You can vote and then go get your taco. It's like a combo meal.
He said, concepts of a plan. Have you all watched the debate?
You're not allowed in here. Come on in. Donald Trump's gonna win. Well, Donald Trump is evil, so half the country's evil also. Why do people like Donald Trump? I don't care how many times Kamala Harris would tell me she loves me, I don't believe her. I saw her kiss her husband with a mask on. Trust me. When he goes to McDonald's and serves fries, like, he's not faking that. Trust me. 'Cause it's real, that's why. Trust me.
And you all, each of you, have had the courage to say, hey, we may not agree on every single thing. That's also what a democracy looks like. In a moment of crisis, dare I say, I think this is one.
In a moment of crisis, dare I say, I think this is one.
I love good ideas. Wherever they come from, I love good ideas. Right? It's in the best interest of all of us. It's in the best interest of all of us. You know, the way that I like to lead, I bring folks in my office all the time, and they know I don't want any yes people. I want people to come in and, first of all, be prepared. Yeah, no time to waste. But come in, and then let's, as I often say, kick the tires on ideas. Because the best ideas will survive those kinds of challenges, and the best ideas will then be most relevant to the American people, most effective to the American people. So I know there are a lot of members of the LDS community here, and you may or may not know my pastor actually spoke at the 100th birthday of President Nelson. Yeah. My pastor actually spoke at the 100th birthday of President Nelson. Yeah. And that wasn't a plan as part of this. It just is. And I just think if we think in our lives and in what we know, there's so many examples of that point.
And the notion that this day and age we would be deliberately trying to restrict the franchise makes no sense. And at the state and local levels, you can push back against that and make sure that we're expanding the franchise, not restricting it. In Australia and some other countries, there's mandatory voting.
In Australia and some other countries, there's mandatory voting.
So that may end up being a better strategy in the short term.
All right, welcome. I just wanted to say, welcome to the end of democracy. We're here to overthrow it completely. We didn't get all the way there on January 6th, but we will endeavor to get rid of it and replace it with this right here. We'll replace it with this right here.
Amen. Let's have a recession. Somebody had to do it. I am the chosen one. I am the chosen one. Somebody had to do it.
It's a reflection of our moment in our time, right? And present culture is the way we express how we're feeling about the moment. And we should always find times to express how we feel about the moment that is a reflection of joy, because, it comes in the morning.
But if radical, liberal Kamala Harris gets in, and by the way, there are numerous ways of saying her name. They were explaining to me, you can say Kamala, you can say Kamala. I said, don't worry about it. It doesn't matter what I say. I couldn't care less. If I mispronounce it or not, I couldn't care less. Some people think I mispronounce it on purpose, but actually I've heard it said about 7 different ways. There are a lot of ways. There are a lot of ways.
Okay, so listen. It's come to my attention that there are some folks who struggle or pretend to struggle with the proper pronunciation of our future president's name. So, hear me out. Confusion is understandable. Disrespect is not. So tonight, we are going to help everyone get it right. Here to help me are some very special guests. Thank you, ladies. Can you tell us your names? Hello, everybody. My name's Amara. And my name is Lila, her little sister. And what are you here to do? To teach you how to say your auntie's name. Okay, so how do you pronounce it? First you say comma like a comma in a sentence. Then you say la like la 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 la. Put it together and it's 1, 2, 3, Kamala. All right, so let's practice. Everybody over here say comma.
think it's very important, as you have heard from so many incredible leaders, for us at every moment in time, and certainly this one, to see the moment in time in which we exist and are present, and to be able to contextualize it, to understand where we exist in the history and in the moment as it relates not only to the past but the future.
Let me just say about world leaders. Viktor Orban, one of the most respected men, they call him a strong man. He's a tough person, smart. Prime Minister of Hungary. They said, why is the whole world blowing up? 3 years ago it wasn't. Why is it blowing up? He said, because you need Trump back as president. They were afraid of him. China was afraid, and I don't like to use the word afraid, but I'm just quoting him. China was afraid of him. North Korea was afraid of him. Look at what's going on with North Korea, by the way. He said Russia was afraid of him. I ended the Nord Stream 2 pipeline, and Biden put it back on day one, but he ended the XL pipeline. The XL pipeline in our country, he ended that, but he let the Russians build a pipeline going all over Europe and heading into Germany, the biggest pipeline in the world. Look, Viktor Orban said it. He said the most respected, most feared person is Donald Trump. We had no problems when Trump was president, but when this weak, pathetic man that you saw at a debate just a few months ago, that if he weren't in that debate, he'd be running instead of her. She got no votes. He got 14 million votes. What you did, you talk about a threat to democracy. He got 14 million votes, and they threw him out of office. And you know what? I'll give you a little secret. He hates her. He can't stand her.
You know what? I'll give you a little secret. He hates her. He can't stand her.
So during Women's History Month, we celebrate and we honor the women who made history throughout history, who saw what could be unburdened by what had been. We see the suffragists, the riveters, the marchers, the mothers and sisters and aunts and grandmothers and daughters, all the giants upon whose broad shoulders we stand. For generations, women have continued to make incredible progress in the classroom, in the workplace, in the halls of government. And we are all here, evidence of that progress.
And talking about the significance of the passage of time, right? The significance of the passage of time. So when you think about it, there is great significance to the passage of time in terms of what we need to do to lay these wires, what we need to do to create these jobs. And there is such great significance to the passage of time when we think about a day in the life of our children and what that means to the future of our nation, depending on whether or not they have the resources they need to achieve their God-given talent.
I don't know what's wrong with you young people. You think you just fell out of a coconut tree? You exist in the context of all in which you live and what came before you. So all of this is part of the work of this group of extraordinary leaders who will help inform and advise how we think about our work. And like the Secretary said, give us feedback, give us counsel, give us direction in how we best achieve our mission. Doing it in a way that we fully understand the challenges and the opportunities.
You don't win a trade. Great country, great people. You're going to be very happy.
Believe me.
The incredible men and women. We're going to start winning again. Believe me.
Poor hubby. Poor hubby.
Nah.
He knows how to sell right there, okay.
Wah, wah, wah.
Yeah, exactly.
So, she's still got a sense of humor. Right?
And I think in New Hampshire, you're going to swing left.
Oh, Brad Grant.
Okay. So joining us now from New York.
Okay, now have
emotional damage.